Welcome back to Careful Boys. We are Careful Boys. Today we have Kalyne.
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 Did you guys know
Kalyne.
that she has the same name as Colleen Ballinger?
No way.
No, don't say that.
Yeah, you do.
Spelled the same way.
Spelled so differently.
You do. So please, if Google could associate those two things.
Please, just
Start it now.
my entire identity is also hers, and hers is mine.
You're one and the same.
So you are, in fact, true or false, you are a director.
Yes.
True or false?
Where are you leading me?
True or false? You are Colleen Ballinger.
This is a deposition?
No, she's like the yin and yang, because she's like the blonde one and the brunette one.
She's like the brunette one.
She's dark energy, she's light energy.
Needs to be placed like this.
Yeah, that's good. That's good
Be
branding.
framed in this
Trying
way.
to conflate
Okay,
you two.
I got you.
No. What do you think about the movie business right now? What's your
I think Barbie's
take?
trash.
Oh,
You watched it?
straight to the. Ooh.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
And you didn't like it?
No.
What don't you like about it?
Did you see it and go, oh, Simu's in this?
Yeah, you didn't like it because of Simu, huh?
Yeah, dude.
No. It wasn't even a thought.
She's like, who the fuck is that?
I think it's just like everything, because we were talking about this a little
Yes.
bit. You think it's like pure satire and they're making fun of woke Hollywood. I think that the humor didn't resonate that well, and I think it's just everything about woke Hollywood encompassed in one movie.
So you thought it's real? Well, shit.
Yeah, I think they missed the mark on the humor. I think it's too cringy for it to be like have like an intellectual kind of way of doing it.
You thought it was too cringy to have an actual intellectual point?
No, because you're not gonna get that with Barbie. I don't expect that with Barbie. But there's a way to do a certain satire about woke Hollywood without it being so on the nose.
I don't think it was a complete satire. What I think it was, first of all, I love absurdist shit, so it was like a fucking 3-hour absurdist movie.
I love Absurdist.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I liked that part. I also liked how it when it took itself seriously, like in a couple moments, it also took the other side of it too, and I thought that was interesting. Like,
In which
I
part?
didn't. When it went girl power, yay girl power, and then it went guy power, fuck yeah guy power.
But it's just so funny how like the very thing is like Barbie world has to be only women, and then as soon as the men take over, it's just like the dichotomy of like it only being one way or another.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean,
But isn't
that's what we're at right now.
But isn't
kind of.
that Barbie anyway? Because Barbie's kind of like one way already. Like that's what I think anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like Barbie's all one way. It's like the ocean's plastic. Everyone loves Barbie. It's all one way. So if the guys are gonna take over Barbie Land, wouldn't it have to be that? To me.
Well, I mean, the name itself is hard to get past. Barbie Land.
Barbie Land.
You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
it's a
it became Ken Town.
I don't know, I think like the whole structure of the movie was like they put a bunch of ideas of what woke Hollywood is supposed to be like, shook it up, and like just threw it all out there.
Can I ask
Like
you-
for instance, like
okay.
Mattel, like that whole like the whole structure of Mattel, and then going to Barbie Land, and then just kind of showing up and just kind of being there, like the structure of the humor just didn't play
Didn't hit
well.
for you.
Yeah, it didn't.
Can I ask you an unrelated question?
Yeah.
Do you hate girl power? Wait,
I mean, we'll define
How come
girl
you-
power. I mean, support
how
women.
come you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you say you like girl power, but you don't like the Barbie movie.
No.
Yeah.
They're not supporting it.
Yeah, right.
The Barbie movie.
Hey, dude, I support girl power.
Did you see Barbie?
No.
If you want to talk about a good movie, go to Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, I will see it.
Who's watched Barbie here?
It's just them two.
Saw Barbie.
And then they both have the.
But I
opposite
watched
opinions.
Oppenheimer.
Do you like that one?
Yeah,
I think it was great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
but also I'm a history buff, so I'm biased.
It's right up your alley.
For me, I was like, ooh, that's Albert Einstein. That's him.
Yeah. He's your
But he did
Avengers,
such a great
dude.
job, because I said this off camera too. Making a 3-hour-long movie about a bunch of men talking
That's very difficult.
that's so difficult, and they did such a good job of actually piecing that together.
Yeah.
Really entertaining.
But that's why I haven't seen it yet, because nobody can fucking successfully pitch me that.
Oh, you know what? You know what would make you watch it?
3 hours of dudes talking.
Exactly, but I think you would. The reason why, like, if I was to sell it to you,
Okay.
I would be like, so I award extra points to when you have to make a film about something that could so easily either be bad, go wrong, create outrage, and they did
they satisfied it well. And I think it's cool to see somebody navigate that successfully when you could so easily fuck it up.
Right.
This is why a 3-hour movie feels not so 3.
I think you'd be impressed
It's because it's actually multiple stories if you look at it.
yeah.
So it continuously progresses, but like changes kind of tone too, because there's different goalposts. It's not like a full-on 3 hours of one long. It is a narrative, but like it's not. It's like it almost feels
Stories
like
in one.
exactly like it opens and ends, opens and ends, opens and ends.
I think the writer in you would
it's
fucking love it.
Yeah,
My
Agreed.
brother told me there's titties in it, so I'll probably see it.
yeah, but to me it wasn't luscious.
Fuck yeah, dude.
It was like artistic tits, so it's like
Art tits.
yeah, art tits is not luscious tits.
Oh, now I'll go see it.
But
I
anyways,
think you'd like it for that reason.
Like Titanic tits?
it didn't feel like, to me at least, it didn't feel like a pretentious 3-hour movie of like, watch me director jack off on myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually, it felt like for the audience. It wasn't fucking.
I know what you mean, exactly.
Like fucking the Hollywood one. What was that with?
Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time was such a. Oh, the good old days of Hollywood, and we're fucking. I get to do a movie that I want to do.
It was what, like how long? That movie felt like a
forever.
3-hour movie.
That movie did feel long.
It
Yeah.
was
I was like,
forever.
get
I
on.
was like, oh jeez, when is this
I was like,
end?
when is anything gonna happen?
happen?
Dude, same with Licorice Pizza. That felt way long.
Oh, really?
That looked like a movie that was jerking off all over.
Watch that.
Really?
Okay, if you like Absurdist, the Weird Al one came out.
Oh yeah, I gotta see that. I want to see that.
Is it like a comedy?
Like a biopic?
Okay, so
He's starring in it.
it's Weird Al, right? So it's Absurdist,
It's absurd.
and it's like he took the. He's a parody genius.
Took the piss out of biopics, right?
Basically,
Yeah.
he took the format of, and it gets crazier and crazier.
It's like the Dewey Cox story, like Lockhart, which I
Right.
love. I love Lockhart.
Right,
Pop
because that's
star.
supposed, yeah. But
this shit,
I was
Dewey.
hoping there was some level of truth to it, because I was genuinely curious.
You're interested, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't get
It
that.
took the piss, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it
he's
was-
hanging out with the Queen and shit, and like, right?
Like it may as well have been Spinal Tap at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Right. It just got crazier and crazier. But I thought it was creative how he came up with the inspirations of the songs in it. Because, like, in every biopic movie about fucking musicians, it's like, well, I was tapping my feet and I saw in the kitchen this was
know,
happening.
it's so-
And then it just came to me, And then, like, all of his fucking things were like that for the top hits.
Did you see Bohemian Rhapsody?
Oh, I loved it.
Dude,
I fucking loved it.
It was the worst that way.
Hated it.
It was so good, dude.
Oh god.
No,
Mike
it-
Myers is rolling that movie where he's like, nobody's ever gonna listen to a band called Queen. Fucking writery and bullshit.
It was textbook.
Yeah. It was,
I fucking loved
yeah,
it. But you know what I think like was awesome though? The performance scenes were just amazing.
Yes.
yeah, they were.
It could have been a music video. Yeah.
It could have just been a TikTok stitch.
Right.
I'd also just rather watch the original music videos too.
That's true. Well,
True.
yeah.
To me it was just a transition to it was a musical with transitions. That's all it was. But it's a weird fucking movie.
What are your thoughts though on the movie business where it's at right now? And like, our movie's gonna
I think
die.
it's so tough. I think it's tough to be.
And the strikes.
Yeah, the strikes.
I think it's tough to be a director to have something that isn't going to quickly make money. Like Barbie, I mean, whether you think they're, being satire or joking, or if they're really just making a movie about that, people are gonna see it, people are gonna love it, people are gonna hate it. And that's what the topic right now is about.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people are making movies now, is like whatever the topic is heavy now. So anything else that is maybe a little bit more in depth gets lost in translation, funding doesn't go to it, is uphill battle. Also just everything with SAG and the writer's strike, I mean, who knows how long that's gonna go for. They don't have a lot of leverage. So
What are your thoughts on like the streaming aspect of it? Like, should people
get the residuals that they deserve?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Good answer. Good answer.
Can I zoom out a little bit more?
Please.
So I just think in terms of just overall entertainment, I feel like entertainment is usually some form of like art / business. And I feel like the business end has taken priority
Yes, over the art.
over the art across the board.
It makes it sad because it's like everybody who wants to create something for the art aspect is just kind of like like kind of depressed in a way of not wanting to create it anymore because there's just no incentive money-wise to do so.
Yeah.
Would you guys say, like, in the film industry, the biggest example of the industry taking more of the business side is like them pushing out all these superhero movies? Is that like the?
It's a model and it works.
Yeah, because it's repeatable.
Yeah, they
right?
see a return on it
looking
though,
for
so like why wouldn't they do
There's
it?
there's a return as soon as they greenlight something, right? They can already estimate how much they can get back. That's the
Right.
whole thing. It's more of a guarantee, and you're less likely to get fired, right?
And then just not on the movie side, but on like the like all the merch that comes with, like, say, the
Yeah.
Flash,
Toy
right?
licensing.
Toys, just
So
the
how
ride.
can we maximize profits?
It's more money than the movie usually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely.
So so if the fucking movie doesn't do well, they still have a whole other backside of like, hey, look, we're making way more money than we thought.
Also, hero movies translate better overseas than like a dialogue-heavy fucking thing.
That's why George Lucas wouldn't kill Han Solo, if you remember, because he didn't want. He said kids aren't going to buy Han Solo action figures if they know he
He's dead.
dies.
Right.
It's so true.
So then that
remember
influences
being
like
a
the
kid.
script writing, that influences everything. So I don't know.
This episode is brought to you by DraftKings. Can you believe we've had 7 months without an NFL game? Crazy, right? Well, good thing that's over and NFL is here. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving you a can't miss offer for week 1. This week, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings is hooking everyone up with game day greatness. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. So check the app to see what you get. Download now and use the code OFFTHERECORD to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code OFFTHERECORD only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, KS. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. ccdkng.co/football for eligibility terms and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
I feel like as we develop like more technology and culture moves forward and stuff, right? Like all this is actually just storytelling. And we're using different methods to tell a story. Like before, it was for like just around a campfire. Then it got into like radio. Then it's like books, radio, right? And then being able to move a picture, like a screen, like there's moving pictures. Now there's the movie industry, right? So now like you can stream real life. You can do all that stuff. So as the technology moves and people get bored, because that will happen, because industry will be created behind certain technology, like the radio. There used to be radio stories and episodes, like people would tune in as a family to just listen to that format. And then they're like, well,
rapt attention. They weren't looking at anything else. They're all listening and looking at the radio.
yeah. And then a television came out, and I was seeing like how people were comparing when the television revolutionized and how that was like YouTube, because the film industry was talking shit, saying like, oh, that's just a fad. TV is not,
Yep.
But then through TV, they created episodic
Rich
formats.
stories, yeah. Deeper stories than you could ever tell.
Because you can be with the same character every week, right? And then there was a personal connection, like the way they feel about YouTubers today, where you're vlogging and you're personally connected to this person, versus being at live theater and Broadway, or like if you watch a film and it's just 1 hour, right? And then so like now we're, I think, at this point where that golden era of film, that cycle is like at this tail end, where something's got to change and be disrupted.
Attention spans? Do you think that?
Dude, I think so.
I feel like there's a
That's a big
lot,
part of it,
yeah,
yeah.
because we're facing it on YouTube too. Because during COVID, when TikTok really blew up, it took market share from YouTube, and long form is considered 30-minute videos now or 10-minute videos. So like,
I think both are happening at the same time though. It's almost like a new generation's coming up, like Taika, right? Like that generation's coming up. Are they gonna have even shorter attention spans than like the millennials have? But then at the same time, we have like podcasts like Joe Rogan. It's 3 hours. Do people sit there and listen to it
Well,
for 3
I
hours?
think people also.
and then you have streaming for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Right. But then, how many times do you guys sit there and watch a movie with nothing but attention on the movie?
at the theater.
I do that. I do that a lot.
At the theater.
Because it forces you.
Me too.
In
I
that
try
situation.
to watch movies.
That's
like
my favorite way to watch it.
But then also on the flip side too, Netflix made the binge watching possible.
Yes.
Right? Where you would upload all seasons all at once. And now you got, you could binge watch whole entire series.
When they don't have that, I get pissed. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you get mad. Yeah.
Why is it next Sunday? Who gives a shit? Just
But we grew up watching Stay Tuned next
Right, I
Sunday,
know.
once a week. And you're like, oh, it's Sunday. I can't fucking go out. I got to watch my thing.
It is funny though because it's fun to point out the hypocrisy of it too. Is like I am part of the problem in the sense that I'm complaining about mainstream films, but then I also go to art house films, go to the theater, walk out and go, well, that shit sucked.
Yeah.
So it's like you are still subject to the movie being good no matter what medium it's on.
But you still
And-
paid and support it though.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that when something is a mainstream, like major film, you have more people policing it to make sure it's fucking good. When something's an art house film, it just has to be what it is.
Right.
And how
right.
much-
There's no pressure.
How much stimulation, right, do people need? Because there are people who are right now listening to us, but they're also playing a video game or some shit, right? Yeah.
That's tight.
It's not.
Best way to do it. Best way.
Tell us that we're a routine because they want to fill background noise or like
That's
they're
dope.
getting ready in the morning.
Dinner or whatever. Yeah.
People nowadays are good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
all
can
part of
do
it.
3 things at once.
Especially Drive. I watch JKNews and Drive the whole time.
Also, people want variety, right? Like maybe there's sometimes I want to zone out into something that is just not super intelligent and just
Yeah.
all over the place, right? And then there are times where I really want to get involved in something and really want to be
Right.
invested in what I'm watching. Right.
I do believe though, industries work in cycles, right? And if something becomes too bureaucratic, too much waste, it's just too many rules, and like it has to be this format, it has to be this way. You have too many kings and queens in certain positions that never leave their place, right? There needs to be a disruption that happens, or else other things will take the attention and space of that.
Well, that disruption's happening because the movie business is pretty fucked, right? Except for like look at Oppenheimer and Barbie. That's like an outlier for the
It's an
year.
outlier. And they're working really hard to replicate Barbenheimer, like fucking hard.
Yeah, and then it's gonna get corny, but they're
Exactly.
they're gonna work on
Like
it.
the golden era where like remember like when we were like kids or even in high school, the movie theater was like packed all summer long from morning until
Blockbuster.
night. Yeah.
Blockbuster was the thing.
Most movie theaters are ghost towns these days.
Yeah.
Like you go there, it's not like people lining out the door, people getting dropped off by their parents.
Yeah.
It's like
Dude, when we saw Barbie, we heard of how sold out it was. Me and my group, we were all wearing pink and shit. We were even part of the movement. We just bought tickets when we got there because, it wasn't.
Oh, really?
Everyone said it was sold out, but it wasn't.
Fandangoing this shit. Yeah.
We tried 3 times, and and every single time it was like all the seats were filled, and I'm like, I ain't fucking waiting.
Really?
That's how I felt when I went to whenever I go to iPick because I watch movies there a lot. I'm like, damn, it's sold out. Oh, actually, there's only 16 fucking seats in there.
But also,
It was a small theater.
it depends on the culture of the city too, because I know like
Yeah.
in Hawaii, it's pretty. They're more like they go out to events, they do stuff, right? So then like maybe going to the movie is still a thing out there.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I couldn't get a seat, man. I was like, fuck
Or maybe
that.
that immediate community around it just does that.
Yeah, it might be the theater that we were going to. It's just the only thing around, you know?
It also seems like post-COVID, the movie business completely changed.
yeah.
There was like people were still funding like independent projects and stuff like that.
Good luck now.
That's basically gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really not there unless you're some kind of name
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
So you already had your foot in the door, but otherwise it's really dried
All
up.
the theaters in this city shut down because of it.
Yeah.
I started seeing I don't want to say decay, but the deterioration of it in about I think 2009 or 10, and when we started pitching, they were saying like the budgets were running out for mid-tier. So like they're funding like what do you call it? Indie budgets are under a couple mil because they're like we could take a chance at this because this was around the time when that fucking witch
Paranormal Activity.
and things like that. Yeah. They're like
They made it for like $50K.
exactly.
Huge return.
Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Blair Witch. Yeah.
Dude,
And then
everyone wanted to make that after
There's
that.
so
when
many of
that
those.
stuff came out, the movie business was like, what the fuck? Why are we
Found
spending
footage
all these?
genre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the money was drying up because that's around the time when a lot of people stopped going to theaters. So then, as YouTube was coming up, no one took YouTubers seriously, but we were going into these meetings and rooms because they were curious about digital. And that's when I was like, oh fuck, dude, this is gonna die. And then a lot of people were like thinking film will never, like the theaters won't ever. And I'm like, yeah, but they just told us that the middle tier that they were blowing money on, like the ones where it's kind of like mid-budget, right? What would they be, like 10 million to
10 to 30.
whatever. And then they're like, nah, everything's gonna pivot to where if it's not blockbuster top level shit, all this stuff, they're not gonna fund. And then they're gonna fund all the small shit to try to like get high gains. And that's exactly what they did. So
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's all about maximizing profits at the end of all days.
It's a
right?
business.
You don't
It's a
want to get
business,
fired.
yeah.
You don't want to get fired, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
If you have something that costs no money but it made a huge return, you're getting promoted.
right.
Well, it
Right.
kind of goes back to what Bart was saying, business and the art form. There's a lot of great stories with great art forms that should be made that are just getting piled and slammed underneath and will never be made just because they just don't have the type of publicity or the names backing them to do it.
Or you look at all the movies you watched back in the day that were original stories that now are just being remade rather than having another original.
Dude, they remade Point Break.
Break.
What the fuck?
That's so unnecessary, dude.
They should have done it with
Aren't they? And they're remaking Roadhouse too.
I know. Fuck this world.
Roadhouse.
Conor McGregor though.
I mean,
What with
that's
Conor
the business
McGregor?
now. It's just a bunch of remakes for the most part.
But it's more of a guarantee because it's got a name, right? So it's
gotta follow it.
Well, yeah, because then you have a base audience that you know will
Yeah.
watch.
you hope.
Because I'll be like, this is stupid, and I'm like, but I gotta.
But I gotta see it. I gotta see what they do with it.
The Roadhouse fan base. We'll see if that pops up.
Yeah, and some people will watch it just to make sure it sucks.
Yeah.
In closing, do you think that the fact that I like the Barbie movie will get me laid more?
No, I think the fact that you liked the Barbie movie made me kind of question our friendship.
Well, I'll watch it, and I'll see if I back either of you up.
It's so weird because I know your humor,
Yeah.
and I relate to your humor, and the fact that you found that funny, I was just like, what the fuck?
Okay,
I'm like, my brain.
I
is
Steve
just-
Green's going
my
soft.
brain is
Wait,
like,
wait.
What's up?
Wait. I didn't think I didn't think it was satire. It was absurdist. That's what I liked about it.
Okay.
I did not think it was.
It's just way over the top.
It was
Okay.
absurdist.
It's so absurd. It's so cringy that I that's what made me just.
I liked the female girl power moment where America, what's her name?
Ferreira.
America Ferrera. Is that her name? I think
No,
so.
I just made that up.
I think I nailed it. But she gave a monologue about girl power shit, and I could tell all these bitches are getting wet about it, right? But then they had Ken basically, do the same thing almost about like being a man,
Right,
and I thought that was like, oh, okay, they didn't just go one way, and I thought it was just interesting.
Also, additionally about like capitalism, how every time they were in that Chevy car, it looked like a Chevy car commercial.
It sure did.
Like,
sure did.
like they pulled it out of a commercial and just planted it.
but
right there.
isn't
that's the point, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's just like for me, I'm like, is it though, or
they were-
Right, I can see what you're saying now.
But they were.
because now it's just like so. Crazy.
It's like, are you sneaking in the literalism?
But they got
Inside of the satire?
They get to the point.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
If you
yeah.
see it, they got to the point where they're literally launching T-shirts, having them unfurl, and saying what it's fucking called on the screen.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was that absurd.
So see, there's moments like that where I was like, okay, cool, but it was only there's too little of those moments for me to be like, I believe you. You know what I mean? So I was like,
I see.
like you missed the mark too many times for me to be like,
Kind of like how like Deadpool was making fun of superhero movies the whole movie. So you're like, I know what you're
I
trying.
believe
I know.
you.
What you're
Yeah, I believe
Versus
you.
just having 3 moments where they
It's
make
like,
fun of.
you just like fell into that.
You guys are missing the real point. The real point is Margot Robbie in a bikini.
Come on. And Ryan Gosling with his sleeves off.
That's right. We've all agreed. Mid.